Hello gamers and welcome back to another Diablo 3 guide, and this time is for our favorite seasonal Crusader, and finally I have for you the final version of the Phalanx build, the Phalanx Crusader. As you may remember from my previous guide, I didn't have the weapon, so I finally managed to get it, and I just want to show you how the build changes, how the setup changes, the items, and what's important and what's not. So there are some nice points and some things that I have to tell you. So, as you may remember, we have the Eternal Union and the unrelenting Phalanx. Eternal Union, of course, increasing the duration of your avatars by 200%, and of course the unrelenting Phalanx increasing doubles the amount of soldiers that you have out at the time. Now, the weapon, what it does is that it's when you have your Akaran champion active, each time you kill an enemy, it spawns one a Phalanx soldier in its position. So as you can imagine, you run around having a shitload of soldiers in the field. Now you may also have seen here that my setup now on the items is different from my previous guide. Previously I had oak hills and I also had blackthorns. Yeah, just because we didn't care about the duration of the Akarat. So we could invest in other items, but right now, since we have the weapon, we need the Akara champion as active as possible. So we need the set. We need our Akarat champion set, and also we need, of course, the Leorin crown. And you need to have as much phalanx damage as possible. I have it on my boots. I have it on my helm. I need to reroll a new shoulders. I need to find new shoulders on that one. And of course you need cooldown reduction on each piece that you can get. I have only on my gloves, on my shoulders, and on my weapon. You should have on your gems, on your rings, I mean, your neck, and maybe on your shield. Your target should be 56% cooldown reduction. I am now at 50%. Nearly so, although this guide is not optimal as far as numbers go, it will get you a very nice idea of how the build works, and if you aim to get it or not. It's very effective, of course. It's very, very fun too. So your phalanx damage is here, your cooldown reduction, of course. The reason now I'm using red gems is just because I usually since you will have your Akaran champion active all the time, you will be okay as far as toughness go, and usually you will be out of harm's way just because you will let your phalanx do all the dirty work, right? Paragons, now movement speed and strength for me on the core. Offense, you need cooldown reduction, of course, and critical hit damage. Defense, I have resist all in life. You can play with those around as you wish. Utility, I have resource core reduction and area damage, although you could argue that you don't need that anymore. We could use the life on hit and area damage. Yeah, maybe it's better that way. We don't need resource, so we don't use much resource with these skills anyway. So, spells. Okay, so spells actually are the same as the previous guide. Akara champion with the Prophet, Falling Sword with Ray's brothers. Actually, afterwards we have Critical Rune of Valor, and this is amazing because it increases very, very much the damage of your Phalanx soldiers. Phalanx, of course, with Bowman for great boss damage and nice nuke. For the left click I use Hammer of Pursuit. For physical damage you could use maybe Slash if you want, but yeah, it's not physical, and after that, or Punish, I find myself to be ranged most of the time, so I prefer that one. And Bombardment for the impact for bombardment, the physical damage rune, since we need that. Right, so having said that, let me show you how this build runs. And Another thing that you must keep in mind is that since you have so many soldiers running around, this build doesn't like very much tight places, tight corners. Let's go on the Fields of Misery. It should give you a very nice, clear idea of how many soldiers you have out each time and why you need open spaces. So you charge with your soldiers. Also remember always to keep them away from your melees, from your ranged soldiers. Don't club them up together just because remember that your soldiers are physical entities, which means that your soldiers can block one another. So we don't want that. Remember to have your aura active as much as possible. And you can see right here that even though you don't see huge numbers, right? There are so many numbers flying around that actually the damage is substantial. Just imagine your Akarat soldiers, something like your Phalanx soldiers, something like piranhas, chipping away from the enemies and numbing them bit by bit. So the damage is there, but it's just that you don't see huge numbers. That's the difference here. But trust me that they do quite a lot of damage. So as you can see here, there's an Elite 2, and even though the damage is spread around because your soldiers hit the targets that they want, you can see that there is no actual problem with the damage that you will do on the enemies. And not only that, but also you should keep in mind that your soldiers can block damage for you. They can keep you out of harm's way, just because, like I said, your soldiers are physical entities. And you can see how many soldiers you have around, right? So look at that, look at that. It's a very fun build. It's a very fun build, that's for sure. And of course you can see that you don't need very much toughness, just because you rarely are in harm's way. Your soldiers do all the dirty work, like we said, and you are free to run around, finding the best position for you. Like that. So you can imagine that being in a cave or in a very tight space where your soldiers don't have the room to run around and do the DPS that they need to do, it could be a hassle, and also it could be it could lessen your DPS. Look at that. Look at how they eat the actually they eat him alive. So yeah, it's a very fun build. It's very entertaining to play. Just because you have so many soldiers running around and doing stuff for you. Let's put the soldiers in here, in this nice little place. The Phalanx soldiers outside. And actually, you work like a commander, running around and positioning your troops in the right way. That's how I see it, and I find it very entertaining to do actually in game. It's actually in a sense it's like an RTS right now. Position your soldiers well to find the best spot for you to sit on. Manage your soldiers so they don't block one another. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's a very nice build, and hopefully you got an idea of how it plays. So, having said that, let's go back and make a quick revision of the build. So, right. Look at that. All right. So, first of all, you need your Akarat set, right? For Akarat cooldown. You need your Bear for Remnant to spawn soldiers each time you kill an enemy. you need your element in Phalanx to have double of your Phalanx out, and also you need your Eternal Union in order to have them more time outside. And cooldown reduction and Phalanx damage as much as you can, and lots of physical damage. Oh, another thing, if you don't have the Bear for Remnant, another perfect weapon to use is the Hard Slaughter for the 30% damage on physical skills. It's a second best weapon to use in this build. Skills. So we have Akaran Champion with Prophet, of course, Falling Sword with Rise Brothers to raise more soldiers, Loss of Valor with Physical and Critical Rune, and Bowman with your Phalanx, of course, you need the Bowman. For the left click I use Justice with the Hammer of Pursuit for the physical damage, and on the right click I use Bombardment with Impact of Bombardment for shitloads of physical damage. Passives, Heavily Strength, Finery, Indestructible, and Holy Cause. You can play with these two around, but I just like to keep them for... Oh, yes, I forgot. Right. Lord Commander for this build, of course. Increase the damage for 20. And you can play around with this one. You can use Holy Cause, or you can use Long Arm of the Law for more duration on your critical aura, or you can use something else like Indestructible. But you can play that around, or even yeah, I don't know. For Holy Cause it's good enough. Paragon. Core. Movement speed and strength. For me here you can use that as you wish. Offense, cooldown reduction, of course, and critical hit damage. Defense, resist all and life. For me also you can change that to your liking. Utility, life on hit, and area damage for me. Also you can choose that as you wish. We don't use resource core reduction, we don't need that just because we don't spend a lot of resource actually, nearly nothing. So guys, that's the build for our Crusader. For the Phalanx Crusader, that's the build finalized and working in its entirety. It's a very entertaining build, very nice build to play. It's a lot of fun. Try it out, see it for you, see how it works. I think you will enjoy it very much. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. Subscribe for more Diablo epicness. And throw me a like if you found this video entertaining or informative. It really helps a lot. So thank you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye guys.